Hey there, Detroit sports fags, and welcome to another edition of my Detroit Sports Show right here on blogtalkradio.com, live from the northern outskirts of McBain, Michigan, with yours truly, your host, Taylor Phillips. In this episode, I'm checking back in on the Lions, and if you have any opinions or just want to talk on the show, just call in at 646-478-4837. That's the number listed. Again, that's 646-478-4837. It'll be a 15 to 30 minute show, as always, and it'll be always recorded. It'll be recorded as always. Again, just dial 646-478-4837. You can also comment on my link post on Facebook, Taylor Phillips, on Taylor Phillips' Detroit Sports page and Taylor Phillips' Detroit Sports Group. You can search me on Twitter at DT2Phillips and find me on LinkedIn, Taylor Phillips. Now before we begin, here are the guidelines for all the listeners of tonight's show. Number one, if you made a call in, stay on the line so I can get to you for a talk. If you hang up by mistake, not a big deal. Just redial this number, 646-478-4837, and then stay on the line, and you'll have a total of 30 minutes to do so until the show ends. Number two, keep it very clean. Number three, treat each other with respect. Number four, if you don't know much about Detroit sports, especially the Lions, you can still just listen to my show for education and entertainment. Number five, stay on the topic with me. And number six, I will ask at least one question as the show rolls along. All right, let's check out what happened last Sunday. The Lions were playing the Cowboys at home at Ford Field. And the Lions struck first on 4th and goal. From the 2-yard line, Calvin Johnson caught a 2-yard pass in the end zone from Stafford. In 2 minutes and 27 seconds in the first quarter, Lions led 7-0. But then Bailey for the Cowboys kicked in a 53-yard field goal. And then Des Bryant scored a 5-yard touchdown pass from Tony Romo, just 3 plays for 4 yards with just 52 seconds left. And then in the third quarter, Bailey extended the Cowboys' lead to 13-7 with a 53-yard field goal, another one. 4 plays and 0 yards in 56 seconds. That made it 13-7. But then David Akers responded with a field goal of his own from 20 yards out. Made it 13-10. Most of the scoring came in the fourth quarter. Williams with the 60-yard touchdown pass from Tony Romo. Extra point was good. Just 3 plays for 71 yards in a minute and 41 seconds. And the Cowboys were up 20-10, but then Joint Bell responded with a 1-yard touchdown run, 7 plays for 80 yards in 3:54. That made it 20-17. But then the Cowboys pulled away again with a touchdown from Des Bryant, his second of the game, directly from midfield. Only took a couple plays from 52 yards in just 53 seconds, and the Cowboys were up 27-17. And then Reggie Bush for the Lions struck back with a 1-yard touchdown run. Pretty easy there, 27-24. Then with 1:20 left, the Lions were in their own territory, and they coughed up the ball on downs, and Bailey kicked in a 44-yard field goal with drive from 4 plays for just 5 yards in 22 seconds. And the Cowboys extend their lead to just 30-24. Now I want to search for a video here of Matthew Stafford mic'd up. I want to get Dan Miller's call of the game. I'm on my computer right here, so bear with me. All right. See if I can get Dan Miller to call the action. Nope. Okay, unfortunately I can't find it, but the Lions went 80 yards went for 6 plays in 80 yards and just went 6 plays for just 80 yards in just 50 seconds, and they went to Chris Durham with the catch. Stafford went to Chris Durham. First long that was the second or the third reception. That was a long one from their own 37 to the Cowboys' 23-yard line. And then Stafford found Calvin Johnson just inside the one. I'll give you Dick Stockton's call here.
Reaches over. Touchdown. Unbelievable.
Yep, Matthew Stafford faked the spike and dove into the end zone with just 12 seconds left on the sixth and final play after finding Calvin Johnson inside the one from the 23. Just an amazing fake spike touchdown dive in by Matthew Stafford. That was just one for the ages, folks. And Calvin Johnson, for his part, finished with a total of 329 receiving yards, 17 catches out of 22 attempts. While Stafford finished 33 of 48 for 488 yards with a touchdown pass and that game-winning touchdown run, which I just displayed to you with the call of Dick Stockton. And the Lions turned the ball over 5 times, not 4. Stafford threw 2 interceptions. There were 2 lost fumbles, one by Johnson and one by Bush, and then the turnover on downs with 1 minute and 20 left. And the Lions' offense outgained the Cowboys' offense in yards with 623 to 268. That's one of the positives that led the Lions to this thrilling come from behind victory. It was in that entire drive that was a completion to Bush for no gain, and then a 17-yard reception to Johnson, and then a 40-yarder to Chris Durham, 22 yards to Johnson, and then that 1-yard touchdown quarterback keeper dive over the plane with 12 seconds left on the clock. The extra point was good. Touchdown tied it. Extra point won it for the Lions. And so with that win, the Lions are 5-3 with a much-needed bye week coming up. Very unfortunate news, however, as their kick returner and punt returner Ryan Broyles, also a wide receiver, is out for the year again. With an Achilles injury. That was reported earlier this week. That was on Monday afternoon at 1:48 p.m. NBC Sports Pro Football Talk website. That website. And if there are any caller, it's just if there's anybody that wants to call in on my show, just to describe how thrilling that victory was, just call in at the number if you're tuned into the show, 646-478-4837. Coach Jim Schwartz confirmed that diagnosis during his press conference on Monday, which means that Broyles has now seen each of the last 3 seasons end early because of an injury. The first 2 injuries were torn ACLs, one in each knee, and now he'll spend another offseason rehabbing furiously in order to be ready to resume his career, this time with an Achilles injury. First 2 torn ACLs and now a torn Achilles tendon. So with that injury, leaves the Lions very short on wide receivers not named Calvin Johnson. They still have Chris Durham. Nate Burleson could be back some point soon. After suffering a broken arm in a car accident with a free pizza last month. Today is now November 2nd as we speak. The show has begun at midnight. This is the Detroit Lions Midnight Edition here on Blog Talk Radio. I am Taylor Phillips. And with that injury, the Lions could make a trade before Tuesday's deadline. And they have a bye week as we speak, as I just said. And Tuesday's deadline had already passed by. I have to see what the Lions have in store. Here, just bear with me here. Oh. We have an article that not only in terms of Ryan Broyles' injury, the Lions have just activated running back Montel Owens. Okay, so Montel Owens has not played since he suffered a knee injury in an August preseason game against the New England Patriots. And the Lions, I remember, smashed the Patriots 40-9 in that preseason game. And Montel Owens is about to start his regular season after this upcoming bye week, when the Lions after then prepare to head to Soldier Field and take on the Chicago Bears. He was placed on short-term injured reserve at the time with a designation to return. He began practicing 2 weeks ago and should be active for the Lions' next game, November 10th, in Chicago. So, Owens is expected to play a big role on special teams as well. He's a two-time Pro Bowler and also a third running back. Started 4 games at running back for the Jaguars last year and had 42 carries for 209 yards, 5 flat average, and a touchdown. Also caught 8 passes for 113 receiving yards. So keep in mind about Montel Owens and remember to expect him to come back and join the Lions after the week after the bye week as they visit the Bears at Soldier Field. Kickoff time is at 1 o'clock. And of course it'll be on your local Fox affiliate. And we have a caller at 920-242-1000. Who's this?
Hey, this is Davey. How you doing?
Davey. And where are you from?
I'm from Green Bay, Wisconsin. I got 2 questions to throw out at you.
Yeah, sure. Spit them out.
Okay. I do some writing for LombardiApp.com, and I have my own Packer show on a local radio station. And I put this poll question up. Now, this is all Packer Nation, so I kind of want to know from a Detroit Lions side who you would take. My poll question was, and over 1,200 people responded, and 83% went one way. My question: would you prefer the receiving catching duel of Aaron Rodgers and Jordy Nelson, or Matthew Stafford and Megatron? 83%, now this is a Packers site, 83% said Rodgers Nelson. I'm asking you, a Detroit Lions fan, and I asked my Packer Nation to think with their football knowledge, not as homers. So I would ask you to vote the same way, and then if we got time, I got one more question that I have.
Okay.
But what say you to that question?
To the question, I would go with, it's a close edge there, Davey. But I would still go with Stafford and Megatron. Just there's only one Calvin Johnson, despite many other good receivers like Jordy Nelson. He's a good receiver too, and Rodgers and Nelson are on the same page. Those are 2 good teams. Right now, the Packers lead the NFC North alone, but the Lions are on.
You should do a poll. You should try to do a poll somehow and see what the answer is. Do you have time for another question, or?
Sure, we got like 4.5 minutes on the show, Davey. Go ahead.
Okay. Kind of surprised me. I thought, I thought everybody, just because of Aaron Rodgers and then another very, very good, unheralded wide receiver in Jordy Nelson. I mean, I would take Aaron Rodgers over Stafford any day. Although Stafford's a hell of a quarterback, 5,000 yard seasons, really a good quarterback. But he's no Aaron Rodgers. He's not even in his class.
Right.
Megatron, my goodness, he had more yards the other day than all pro receivers get in a quarter of a season.
The history maker.
So that was just amazing. Anyway, second question. This is an NFC North question.
Yep.
Packer Nation again, they voted 63%, and I think there's a lot of Vikings fans in this
Wow.
one.
The Vikings are struggling. Packers pounded them last Sunday.
And my question to the Vikings was, would you, for the next 2 years, the remainder of this season and next season, would you rather have Eddie Lacy or Adrian Peterson? And 63% said Lacy.
Oh, yeah, because...
What say you on that one?
Yeah, Eddie Lacy is a breakout star for the Packers, I might say, as we are under 3 minutes left on the show. But there's still only one Adrian Peterson, but Lacy has shown me something. He has led the Packers offense to a rout.
That the Green Bay Packers. Just the fact that the Green Bay Packers has a running back that we can even ask in the same sentence as the reigning NFL MVP, judging how far the Packers running game has gone this season. I know you got to do your thing. Thank you for your time, and I enjoyed your show.
Thank you. I enjoyed your call. Enjoy the night, Davey.
Yeah, look me up on the Packer Backers. I got a Packer show on Blog Talk, the Packer Backers.
Okay.
All right.
All right, thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep, bye. I'd like to thank Davey for the call, ladies and gentlemen. Even though he's a blogtalkradio.com journalist for the rival team, the Packers. But hey, we're just about out of time. That's about all the time or ground we have to cover for tonight's Lions Midnight edition of My Detroit Sports Show. Coming up tomorrow at midnight, I will cover the Red Wings, who just pulled out a 4-3 victory in Calgary. They're on a roll on their Western Canadian road trip. They're in Edmonton later tonight at 10. I will do that edition at 1 a.m.
60 seconds.
Even later tonight, after the Red Wings and Oilers conclude their game at Rexall Place. So until then, enjoy the Michigan and Michigan State game at 3:30 later today on ABC. Good night, everybody.